Hey guys, so as I have already told you the concept of function in my previous video, so today I would be discussing about what is domain and range of the function, and I would be completing this video within 2 to 3 minutes, and you would be getting a very good idea, I am hoping, about the domain and range of the function. So let's begin from here. So suppose we have a function y equal to fx where x is a independent variable and y is dependent variable. Y is dependent on x. So with the help of different values of x which we would be assigning to this variable, we would be getting y as output. Now when we will make a graph, suppose we are having a graph of y equal to fx function. This is x-axis, this is y-axis. So the graph would be, suppose I am assuming graph is like that. Okay. Now if anybody asks you what is domain of this function, then simply see the values of x-axis which would be assigned to this variable x. So the value starts from the x-axis from here to here. Suppose this is x0 and this is xn. So all the values within the interval x0 to xn would be the domain of fx. So this whole values of x-axis would be domain. And what is range? Range is simply all the values of y-axis. If I project on the y-axis, all the values of this function, if I project on the y-axis, so all those values would be range. So what is range? Range is basically whatever the value, if we make a graph of fx, whatever the values we are getting on assigning the values of domain, then those all values combinedly called as range. Okay. Now I would give you an example. Suppose there is a function y equal to sin x and I am making its graph. All of you know that the graph of this function is like this, and it would be never ending to the negative x-axis and never ending to the positive x-axis. It is infinite. It is infinite. So what would the domain? Domain would be whatever the values we can assign in the x-axis. So here domain would be minus infinity to infinity, or we can say all real numbers, right? Why? Because we can assign any value to x. There is no limitation. For all the values of x, sin x would be defined. We cannot say that if we are assigning a particular value of x, then sin x is indefinite or it is not defined at that point. So domain would be anything, whatever you want to put here, whether it is a rational number, whatever, doesn't matter. It would, the domain is fine. Okay, all the whole numbers, natural numbers, rational numbers, whatever you can take, all the real numbers, right? Now if I talk about the range, then range is, if you will see this graph, then this is 1 and this is minus 1. So if you see this graph in a more deeper way, then you would see that all the values of y-axis are in a closed interval between 1 and minus 1, minus 1 and 1, nothing coming beyond this. So minus 1 and 1, between this interval the range exists. So what is the range? Simply this, range is minus 1 to 1. What is the meaning of this closed interval and open interval? That means minus 1 and 1 is included in this interval. Okay, and all the values in between minus 1 and 1 is would be taken in the range. Okay, and domain, we have taken the open interval because minus infinity is not defined. It is minus infinity is never ending, so we have to take as open interval here. Okay, or all the real numbers which are also infinite. You cannot count it. It is uncountable. That is why it is infinity. Okay, so that's it, guys. So it is a brief short video, so that you can get a brief understanding of what is domain and range. I hope it will be clear for you.